building something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.
By the time we made it to the late game, the portents for Doom was already in the air. We saw it in the draft. Nahaz and Kyle, you kind of did talk about what the strengths of the drafts from each side we saw definitely were, but by the time we made it into the late game, it was pretty clear that there was a favorite.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we didn't talk about that was super relevant in that game is that you saw Troll Warlord in the first phase of that draft as NIP, and you just drafted nothing to deal with BKB. There was no Winter Wyvern in this game, so that when that Troll at the 30, 35-minute mark, he's got BKB, he's got Aegis, he's on the steps of your base hitting buildings, there's really nothing you can do about it. And as I talked about at the very end, that's a lineup that maybe with another team, I very much favor that NIP draft, but that lineup is so, Alliance is so confident in its laning phase with that particular matchup. You get a good laning phase, all of a sudden that Boxy Centaur has an early pipe, and the magic damage that we were worried about coming out from NIP is really mitigated.
Yeah, I'm surprised they laned as they did. I think Lesh was the worst choice to go middle because it's the most important hero. I think that Fada should also be playing the Gyro, just based on how I witnessed him in the first couple of days, or games rather, today. And you can see, like, this hero dies, right? If this is a level 6 Gyro, it's much more difficult to make plays. Plus, you can actually make moves with the Chen much easier because you throw out the rocket, and then the creeps just dive where he blinks to. You're going to catch him with the double stun. And the Lesh then falling so far behind, not really able to get momentum going, can't take towers, and just way too easily roamable on by the Shaker Co-op combination.
This, by the way, is just a brilliant play by Mika here. He's going to get really low in this fight. He knows if he ults with Troll next to Troll with his back turned, his team can't re-engage because of all the quill stacks. He actually holds his ult to the very last minute, gets himself back next to the Leshrac, so that he's able to kill the Leshrac under the ult, and the entire team is able to stay in that fight.
Yeah, Mika is actually insane. He might be, if not the best Troll in the world, definitely one of the best 3. I think that his item builds are great. I saw Miracle get his team eliminated by rushing a Manta on Troll, and I'm just like, what is this? Whereas Mickey, he obviously can go the Battle Fury when it's appropriate, but this game, you know, the Diffusal, the Maelstrom, I feel like he buys his BKB always at like the right time, and to your point, or Rich's point really, they had nothing to deal with it. So once he picks it up, especially since he got it like 3rd, 4th item, just it's all good. You can see the strength of the NIP lineup, but they just didn't win their lanes. And even though they have all this damage up, but the Quap and the Troll are just too powerful.
Yeah, exactly. That was actually what I was about to say. I mean, obviously, you see that they can potentially really take the game over at the 20-minute mark, but when you do look over on the side of Alliance, it's not only Troll. We focus on Troll a lot, but Quap going to be another thing that can really take over in the late game. Yeah. Was Bristle really the contingency plan? Like, if you do look over on to the lineup of NIP, is it okay if we don't hit those good timings in the 20-minute area where we're looking at things like Gyro to potentially just be massive? Do they fall back on Bristleback, and is that even a real contingency?
No, it's not just the Bristle, right? What we talked about at the tail end of the draft was that these are all 3 cores that they all need to be able to scale. They all need to have that steady farm growth as the game goes on, and especially in order to deal with Troll with no BKB breaker. And Fata in particular, he just had a brutal game. I mean, this is he's played 92 professional Dota 2 matches over the last 3 patches. This was his 2nd lowest net worth. He was under 11K at the 36-minute mark. The only one lower was this Core Venge game that they picked that went drastically wrong. He struggled in this Leshrac. I think part of it was just the draft and the lane.
You can't go mid versus Quap with the roamer around, and you also don't really get help from the Chen against the Quap. Plus, early laning phase, Quap actually has like 15 base damage on you. It's just not a matchup you can win. And I feel strongly that had they landed a bit differently, this game would be more even. During the break, right, I went backstage. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's Pycat and Loda, who just routinely are sitting next to each other watching the games. I'm like, hey, who won the draft? And there's a hesitation, and Pycat puts his hand up, and Loda kind of gives like a, eh. It was definitely a feeling that Nip had the edge, but based on play, especially after Alliance get that lead, it's at a point where it's like, oh, wait, Nip actually have major damage issues. They're playing against a pipe-rushing Centaur and a Troll Warlord that's been untouchable, plus this Quap that you don't really have many stuns for. And it actually became impossible to take out these cores.
It's actually my old nickname, the Pipe Rushing Centaur. But when we do look ahead towards the next game, what do we expect to see in the draft? Because we talk about the draft, we said that there were a lot of good things going on, but did it have enough of a game plan?
I mean, I think you're going to see NIP go away from first phase gyro. That's for certain. I think this hero is a great twist at the tail end of the draft. I think again, Kyle and I talked about this. These teams are treating this series as a chance to play really high level scrim, right? Obviously, $10,000 each ain't bad either. But I think you're going to see that hero push to the back phase of the draft.
If you gave me $10,000, you wouldn't see me for 2 years.
2 years or 2 days?
I'd be on an island covered in Gucci.
I think you'd be dead within 36 hours. But that's all right.
Whoa.
Dude, Rich is...
If anyone has experience
Rich is pretty intense,
blowing loads, it's definitely Richard Campbell.
Okay, we're going to go ahead. And the other thing I expect is I think Nip are going to get away from this bristleback fixation because I cannot believe you said that. 30.
What? I can't believe you hit 10 grand last 2 years.
He's not wrong. But I think some of the things that are wrong are some of the things that Alan is pointing to right now. I think maybe we don't want to see this gyro getting locked in so early yet again. I think that might be one of the big changes. But I do think that it's important to look at NIP and how they've drafted. They go for a lot of these risky plays, even in best of threes in the first game, try to see if it works. And if they don't, they go, we're good enough to get 2 games back to back. And when you enter a best of 5 scenario as well, that actually becomes a more stable strategy.
Yeah. And I just want to point out, like the QWOP 2 deaths, the magic number over under is like 2.5 for me. Anytime QWOP's got less than that, it's usually a pretty damn good game. You're going to take the W. Once you get to like 3-4, all of a sudden, Fio's not so strong anymore. And I don't believe Mickey died. So just a dream game for the 2 Alliance cores. Think Boxy, also Shining, just playing this tanky beast. He's like 2k HP, like 15 minutes with tons of magic resist plus the hood shield. It's just good. I love these strength heroes with phase boots. You can see Troll and Centaur both pick him up. That free 6 armor is not negligible, and I think it's part of the reason we see strength heroes in the meta as much as they are.
Sure. And
you had a real problem getting armor because you just needed, because strength heroes, they need mana regen too. You want to have some damage, like you're slot starved. But now you just get this free armor boost. It's so impactful.
Well, it also goes back to this focus that we saw in the middle of last season. Chalice was doing this so well along with the other offlaners. The focus on these strength offlane cores, tanky, building damage mitigation items. That dire tier 2 top tower was kind of like, it was the hill that Nip died on in this game. From 12 to 15 minutes, they just threw themselves over and over again at that part of the map. But Centaur's already got early pipe. The other team already has their small to mid-tier items well underway. You're not as strong as you expected to be at the end of the draft.
What hill would you die on, out of curiosity?
What hill would what in Dota?
Sure.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm going to give you a second to think about that because I actually do want to bring up something that you said, because you mentioned that, in a grand final, it's pretty rare to say it's the best scrim ever because it's a grand final. It's usually the thing that you are playing for. When you're usually here at a minor, what happens in the grand final is you're not only playing for that cash prize, which is a large chunk of money, but you're playing for that spot into the major. At this minor, both of these teams actually have already gotten that berth into the major, so they know that they are there, and that's why Nahaz does bring up that point. It's definitely important to think about, but I did want to bring that up, and I'll let you answer Kyle's. I don't know. Chat keeps saying this around Kyle, something about papaga,
some frog thing, right?
Papiga. So we'll let you answer his papiga question.
The hill in Dota that I'm gonna die on. I mean, don't you want to die in the Roche pit if you're going to die in Dota? I want to die gloriously standing in the middle of the Roche pit with the meteor coming down on me.
What if you met a witch and she said that if you want to know, I'll tell you the manner and time of your death? Would you want to know?
Absolutely not. Why would you want to know that?
I don't know. Why wouldn't you?
What if that witch told you before this series started, she could tell you the exact prediction? Would you want to take the prediction, or would you actually want to predict yourself what's going to happen in the next game?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'm taking that.
Well, okay.
I'm taking that all the way.
Like a tenured professor.
So here's the thing. What if I told you that witch actually exists, and I've had it here the entire time on my phone. It's
Dude,
called,
your mom
it's
picked
called
serious. I'm
Twitch
sorry.
chat.
Oh my god.
Twitch chat. Yeah, look at that right now. They're spinning up magic, and I want to know from you guys in the Twitch chat at the moment, who do you know is going to win the next game, let alone the series, because we all know that you know. I look to you guys, not my analysts, at times like these for the 200 IQ
Look
big
at that shot.
trues.
Is there a look at that? No, go back to that shot on Rich. Is there a product that you would not buy right now?
Could I sell you a car, maybe? A used one? I promise it might have a couple of miles, but it'll definitely get you there, and you'll look good driving. We've been waiting to do the car salesman thing for a little while, but I've also been waiting to get into this game. I've also been waiting to get into this game, and we're getting very close here. We've talked about a few different things. Do we expect the draft to really change its form? I want to start by talking about NIP. We've consistently, and it really was you who said it very well, Kyle, they have a style to how they draft. Do you think in game number 2 they're going to take a slightly different approach?
I think what I misread on the draft was how difficult it was going to be for the Chen to get involved early game, because in reality, all 3 Alliance cores are not like gankable at a certain point. Like as soon as you have phase boots on Centaur and Troll, like you just can't make moves into the lane. Their lockdown was also limited, and the damage output on the supports is negligible. And then you hit the mid game and you're a bit behind, and Alliance have found their kills, and it's just like, well, what do we do now? Because while your cores are all strong, they all need to be ahead, right? You want to be pushing, you want to be playing enemy side of the map and taking these fights. You can't actually like stay on your side and like get aggressive. It's about being offensive just based on taking more objectives. If you can't do that, the Chen, the Lesh, the Bristle, they falter.
Yeah, and that was my worry, right? It's not just about being ahead overall. It's that each of those individual cores needs, because they're all 3 of them cores that need to be in the middle of the fight. They're all relatively short range cores. If any one of them falls behind in farm, you saw what happened. That Fod is still a pretty good player, guys. Sure. All right, you saw what happened though when he's trying to get in the middle of the fight with that Leshrac because of a bad laning phase matchup. I think for me, one of the things that's really stuck out, NIP has built a lot of their success this season in being one of the broader teams drafting-wise, and they've been super fixated on this bristleback, not just picking it, but banning Viper first phase in 2 of the 3 in the previous series. I want to see them get a little bit less focused on this hero. 33, again, one of the widest hero pools in the game right now.
And I think Alliance had a great read on what makes a lot of NIPS drafts work, and what's missing as well from this last one, which is that vision hero. The hero that acquires information that makes it easy for the NIP heroes to play around, because they do tend to have a bit of this lack of playmaking ability.
I'm 100%
and they're banning
on board.
Nyx, they're banning Night Stalker, banning Naga, banning Darkseer. All these heroes that either shove lanes easily while still being able to play the map, off map, or the Sox and Nyx, the 3/3 Night Stalker. That's when they look the best.
I give you a lot of crap, Kyle. I'm going to build you up a little bit here. One thing that you talk about on panels that I think you do a really good job of is catch and reach. Okay, you talk about these concepts as they apply to team fights going in both directions, both the ability to disengage and reset and the ability to generate these extra kills. What is the #1 factor in making that catch and reach work for you? It's not just slows, it's not just stuns, it is vision. That's why TA is so good. That's why I think Warlock, underrated aspect of Warlock, the ability to just fatal bonds locating enemy heroes as they try to disengage. And I think, again, that's something you didn't see from NIP in that last draft.
Good job, Kyle.
Wait, what? Hang on, let me check this.
I wrote A+ because Nahaj just very clearly gave you an A. But we're going to have to see who comes out on top in this draft. A lot of very good points are brought up, and I do want to touch back to one of the stronger points, which is Twitch chat. They are all still, for the majority, there are definitely a few Alliance fans here, but a lot of people are still saying that they think that NIP is going to be able to take this series, even though they are coming off of not the greatest game ever. Do you think that that confidence is warranted?
I mean, if you look at overall the results on the season, it has looked like NIP's had Alliance's number. Now, all the things that we've talked about at this event come into play, where Alliance, this is one of the first times this season that they're playing with their full roster, with everybody at full strength. But, again, I think never underestimate the ability of a Peter Pan or Peter Dagger to pull out some of these draft wrinkles, like the gyro that you pulled out against Sirius.
Dude, got a supply of pixie dust somewhere. All he's got to do is sprinkle a little bit on the keyboard and come out with some magical drafts, and before you know it.
Hey, when Nahaz was talking about reach, he wasn't talking about trying to reach that hard for a joke, Kyle.
Thanks for clarifying. I'm still a bit new to this, Rich. Appreciate having a man of your experience and many talents here to guide me along the way.
Hey, no problem, Kyle. This one's on the house. But hey, we wouldn't even have a house if it wasn't for our sponsors in SAP, the analytical partner of this tournament. And you can see those comfy chairs right there. DX Racer. If you're not sitting in it, you're probably sitting in a chair made for a peasant. It is the best chair on the marketplace. It is built for kings. It is the throne of the entire chair empire. Now, the question is, who is going to be the ruler of this empire, the grand final empire? Is it going to be NIP or is it going to be Alliance? Guys, keep in mind as well, this is a best-of-5 series. Alliance is not on match point as of right now, as we do start to see these first bans come in.
And there comes, to absolutely nobody's surprise, a hero that they took out in the games yesterday and that they left in for game 1. Troll Warlord will not be in the hands of Alliance.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Alliance here, I think I move up my Night Stalker ban. I take that out right here. I think Sand King's annoying to deal with, but I'm way more afraid of the vision control that hero offers. And I think
so you're gonna give him Sven. That's the question.
They banned Sand King last time. NIP banned Sven. And I think NIP might do that again. Either way, Sven and Sand King are just more understood, right? I think Night Stalker.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it was the Bat Rider that not my bad. It was Darkseer, Nyx, and Bat Rider have been Alliance bans in 4 straight games now against NIP.
I thought they banned Sand King last game. I'm pretty sure that NIP banned.
Did they? Okay. I might just be misreading my phone here.
It's true. It's a bit.
Hey.
Is that it's
with age, it does get more difficult sometimes. By the way, happy Father's Day, Nahaz.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
And shout out.
They did ban, Kyle's right, they did ban Sand King.
Remaining.
My wife sent me a video of my 5-year-old daughter this morning swimming the length of the pool, backstroke by herself. I'm like so happy.
It's
So
actually
definitely a lot of her genes then.
Yeah. Thank God. All mom's genes. Oh my goodness. She got really stinky feet, really smelly gas.
Oh,
From
God,
mom,
that's
she got
way too much information. Jesus.
Oh man!
Right,
Speaking of information, how much information does locking Sven first give to your opponents? Sorry, that segment
Very little.
That was not the strongest segment.
Well, you had
but
to
I
get
was
us out of there,
distracted
Rich.
by
You had to get us out of there.
Talking about
Now that you're thinking about it, you're like, well, what is that? It's like a bit of rotten egg mixed with maybe some milk.
Get out of here, you two. Oh my God.
Yeah, I love the Sven pick. I think it makes a lot of sense. They left Bat in the pool, though. Keep in mind, Alliance now have that opportunity to pick that up with Nyx already out of the pool.
But if you pick Bat yourself, do you have to go Bat Oracle? Is the question.
You probably do, and I don't know if you want to. That's the thing.
Right.
I also don't feel like Bat is like it's an answer to Sven, sure, but I think there's better ones in the pool. And the problem is lanes have kind of broken down now, where you're not going to get this like 2-on-2 match. Like, look at me, I'm owning Sven. Like you just pick like an Omni Knight or in a Batten. You have a cleanse. It's like, oh well, Bat. The problem is you pick the Bat as a core to counter this other core, but Nip can just pick a support that deals with
This is the other hero I wanted to talk about, because again, the big thing about the Bat Rider picking the first phase against the Sven is that you have that built-in BKB breaker. This is the other sort of big
counter.
BKB breaker, and I agree with Kyle. I think it's actually a much better counterplay to the Sven pick than the Bat would be.
Yeah, I agree, because you deal with both. Bat is like an offensive way to deal with the Sven, but if you can't kill him, right, you're kind of worthless, especially because you need to have that good laning phase. Wyvern is your hard 5, and all of a sudden, you have a BKB piercing like all game. Sven doesn't want to buy Lincolns, and they pick it up
And
themselves.
they are going to pick the Bat, and they'll
really good
almost
against
certainly
Mars and Wyvern.
they're almost certainly going to ban the Oracle here going into the second phase. You wonder if they also think about banning the Abaddon. That's been a hero that NIP has featured much more so in Alliance. But Abaddon Wyvern seemed like a pretty awkward support duo.
True. I think Omni Knight is a possibility.
Oh, that's right. That's the hero that they've drafted the other day against Sirius when they needed to purge late in the draft, and I think that's Boxy mid Omni Knight looked good. The only question, right? You already have the Boxy hero on board Mars, and again, we said this the other day, but it bears repeating. Mars obviously very new. 5 times a Mars has reached double-digit kill totals in professional Dota 2 games. 3 of them already belong to Boxy.
I think it's also likely Taiga would play it though, and with Wyvern it makes a bit more sense, simply because you have this easy support duo team fight domination where you just drop the ult from both, and all of a sudden NIP are outmatched. Plus, I just feel, honestly, it's interchangeable. I think that in the new way of Dota, 3s and 4s, even just supports in general, we saw Insania climbing the net worth, almost surpassing Boxy by the end of the game. Everybody gets gold. You got all these GPM talents nowadays. It's like, there's no such thing as roles.
And you're no longer, wards are cheaper. You're no longer giving away that 50 gold per death fixed every time. So everybody, particularly at the bottom end of the net worth distribution, is just going to have a little bit more in the way of resources to play with. And I expect that that's actually going to have a big impact on strategy as we go closer to TI.
I like the Grimstroke ban from Alliance. Just
Yeah.
double lassos, not fun to deal with. A really good match with the Sven. It's just good synergy throughout the early to mid game as well.
Although one of the heroes that I would also be talking about here, we have not seen Warlock touched.
Warlock, I think for NIP makes sense.
Exactly.
I'm not a fan of it for Alliance, and in fact, I think Alliance could look at banning it here.
Yeah.
Remember, this Bat could also be a Saksa hero.
For sure. For sure. That's one of the wrinkles that I think has really helped bring Bat back as a first phase. That's when, you got to pick something in the first phase.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do say, I like what Peter does with his bans here, because instead of going, you see a lot of these tier 2, tier 3 drafters, they just take out counters to what they've already picked, right? He's thinking ahead, like, all right, what is Alliance? What's good for their draft?
Yeah.
What don't I want to play against that changes the game state, the status quo? You don't really care if they pick Oracle. You make the Bat a support. It's like, all right, you can remove Lasso. He's weaker in lane, whatever. I like that as well. Banning out the Night Stalker, same concept. Bat, best vision utilizer in Dota. You don't want to give him the best vision provider to combo with.
Yeah,
and then
especially with the other heroes, with other heroes like Beastmaster.
That's where you have a scenario, right, where you pick an Oracle, but now you're playing against Night Stalker, and your game is miserable. And who cares if you deal well with the Bat Rider, because you're just gonna feed.
10 seconds remaining.
It's good in general. Alliance now, I think, will go for either the support.
5 seconds remaining.
So do you go? That's kind of my question: is do you go back for the Oracle here and run the Winter Wyvern as a 4, or are you thinking about a higher impact? The Shaker and the Sand King are both banned. Rubik's still on the table for Taiga.
Lifestealer could just be your pick. It's a hard counter to both heroes available.
I like that so much better. I think, again, you want to lock down that high impact hero for Taiga at this phase.
But
if there's a hero on, if there's a player on Alliance whose hero pool has felt a little bit limited, it has been at that 4 position.
Yeah.
And I like that stability.
Wyvern has only the one method of interrupting TPs. Tusk, of course, with 2. Plus the defensive Snowball, great against the opening of NIP, because they're very burst heavy. They want to get a lasso, Sven stun out, find a kill in that duration. You now have a save. Plus, Shards is a method of BKB disable.
Yep.
In addition, you can then punch the Sven too through his BKB, and later kick him if you pick up that axe.
Yeah. That's actually an excellent point. This is one of the big things that I like to see against an early Sven, Troll, formerly PA. You get 2 supports that can both deal with BKB.
The thing I'm concerned about, though, is still this Naga Siren that's in the pool. And I know you got a Sven already for NIP, but they could make it a 3, they could make it a 4. I've seen Peter play it, and I just don't think Alliance will deal well with that hero. It just scares me in the hands of NIP. And they banned out the Storm and the Morph, 2 heroes adept at dealing with it.
I like that. That's going to be your Peter special here, Undying. We're gonna start talking about the possibility of tri-lanes pretty early on here. Although you already do know you're going into a Tusk in that tag team.
And it's because you have all this area control on Alliance, right? This is the best area control in Dota, where you drop a tombstone on the high ground, and sure, Alliance can set up this big combo, but it takes a lot of time to execute the Wyvern ult, now the arena. You got a lot of choke point control, but those zombies are going to be spawning en masse. We got a Weaver.
I love I love this pick. I've talked about this before. We haven't seen it almost at all in the tournament, but we saw the other day a Lifestealer picked up first phase as an answer to the Bat Rider. Weaver cut from the same cloth. This is a hero that if you can isolate it in lane against that Bat Rider, it can have a very good time. And Mike plays it incredibly well.
But there's Naga in the pool. And I'm looking at the Alliance lineup, and I'm afraid, I'm so afraid of them trying to deal with some sort of tanky illusion core.
Naga's good, but I guess if they pick Naga, maybe they ban Leshrac. But I think there's plenty left in Koikva's pool that gives you AoE to deal with those illusions early on, and I just don't know if Naga is quite as dominant late game as she's been in the past. In this patch, we'll see.
It is against Weaver. That's the concern.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Nahas, you've been bringing up Weaver in almost every draft. Like, you really have been talking about this hero. You really wanted to see it. What is it about this hero that has made you in calling for it so much?
Well, again, it's just you make the game easy to play for your carry in some respects because it's a hero that's just got so much mobility built into its kit. If you can secure it a good laning matchup, it's easy to play Dota for your cores. And that's what, in the early days of a new patch, I really like that. Also, there are a number of teams, Alliance included, that have run this hero at 4 different positions. And I think that flexibility is a huge asset, especially drafting against an IP.
Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker
That's
is
the pick.
disgusting
Team
here.
back.
That is,
Mira.
okay. Wow.
That's
If
interesting.
one of these two teams was going to pick Mirana, I would have had it down as Alliance. This is Fata
Thanks.
played a
Yeah,
lot of Mirana
he
last
does.
year for Secret, especially in the later part of the season, running up to TI, and he feels very confident in this hero. But it was Koikva that's played more Mirana this season.
And I think it's just another testament
10
to PPD's
seconds
drafting
remaining.
prowess, where he's keeping his players on comfort picks. And even though maybe
5
I'd
seconds
prefer
remaining.
different ones for better individual matchups, Fada's hero pool is a little limited. A lot of the heroes he liked to play, in the same vein as Matumpa Man, honestly, have been nerfed into the ground in some regards. Viper, Necro, Razor, DK, they're not meta that much any longer, and they don't play fast enough. Mirana, bit of experimentation. You tried out the gyro, gave him a Lesh. Let's see what he does with this other more mid-game utility style hero where he can utilize his experience and map knowledge to the highest ability. And it's also very good against the Weaver. You have an easy stun combo now, bunch of setup, and it's just cool to have that
Team
mobile
back.
core.
So that's the thing. I'm actually quite ambivalent about this Mirana. On the one hand, I can see what you were talking about. That it's almost the same theory as the gyro. That you pick it because it's a hero whose damage combo ramps up dramatically in the mid game just because of its kit, just because of the spells.
Yeah.
On the other hand, same limitations as well, right? And I just don't know that there's the kind of synergy for this draft. Sure, if you lasso Weaver and get him into an arrow, that's great. But you're going to have one other big scaling core to deal with at least.
So we're still waiting to see what the final picks are going to be. But the last game, the big question was, or the big story was, NIP had an incredible potential around that 20-minute timing. Alliance could scale with things like Troll and Quap and take over the late game. When we look at these two drafts, what do we see right now, Kyle?
Do you ban? Should you have banned TA?
No, it depends on what they pick here.
You said that kind of
'Cause-
under your
'cause
breath, but I think
you could
that's the
pick
point
TA
we're
still
talking about.
yourself as NIP
Okay.
and put Mirana on a side lane, and probably the 3-3 off lane. But
Good.
I still lean towards Naga being a great pick. I love the Ember ban regardless of the direction they go. It's one of the hard counters to Undying and Mirana. Too much lockdown and reach potential. And if you look at Alliance's
10
team fight,
seconds
what are they
remaining.
missing? That cheap disable, the low cost stun that allows them to
5
set up their
seconds remaining.
combination. Ember would have been ideal for that role.
Well, the big thing to me that Alliance is missing is push. I want to see that's an okay pick for Nip. I am uncertain about this draft. I think if Alliance pick a pusher here, I think if you get yourself a DP, a Dragon Knight, something that's just going to eat towers, that this Alliance draft, it just looks very easy to play. Just looks very well-rounded, easy to play, has answers
I'm worried
to
about-
most of what NIP is going to be trying to do.
Worried about their damage
10
output. Look at the
seconds
amount of
remaining.
sustain and
Yeah.
just how tanky these Nip heroes are. You're never going to
5
reliably
seconds
get
remaining.
a Wyvern ulti off onto the Mirana, I don't believe. You
No, I
have
don't think you-
Centaur
I don't
Sven
think you
that
even
are
want
just
to, though.
super tanky, and then an Undying is going to drop Tombstone and spam Soul Rip. Alliance really no sustained DPS at the moment. The last pick,
Medusa, they're going to go super greedy. I don't know if I like this.
they needed something that kept them off the
Oh,
clock.
I don't know if I like this.
It's the Socks of Bat, like we were talking about. One of the hard counters. You lane very well. Well, the thing is, you don't really lane that great against the Mirana, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But you have a lot to protect him. This is a tough game to read, because if Alliance get the space, it's that same concept where Nip need that decisive advantage earlier on. They've got to capitalize on a mid-game advantage, take more towers. Alliance, if they have the space to allow Koifa to just kind of chill in the triple camp, farming
Yeah.
Ancients for a long enough time, you get to a point where I don't know if NIP can actually fight. Like, how do you go high ground against Wyvern, Mars, Medusa?
Tusk,
I still
right?
think when you look at how Alliance has won games in this tournament, it's been just continuous momentum. It's been forcing these fights, getting these kills. They need Boxy to go off in this game because this is a super greedy lineup. It's not necessarily a lineup that needs to fight. They're going to have to play a little bit of a different brand of Dota here to be successful.
All right, with all of that in mind, we're going to be getting ready to actually jump into game number 2. But with it being Father's Day, I do want to give a special shout out to all of the dads that bought us video games and let us play late nights. The gift that we have for you right now is game number 2 of this series. And to celebrate Father's Day a little bit, we're going to have 2 slick daddies cast all the action.
He needed to really have that mustache to say Slick Daddy. That's it.
We've got one Slick Daddy, and he's on the panel.
It's yeah. Everyone else is just really like.
Oh well, without the slick, but Daddy.
There's enough gel in that white hair to say it's
fair enough.
slick.
Sure, I
A
can. I can agree with that.
little
I can
bit of
do that.
grease, you know, like that old man look. Just grease it back.
Whoa,
and
what happened to my camera? Sorry. Okay, that's kind of irrelevant. That was really weird. But anyway, yep, into game 2 we go.
Yep.
This is a very, honestly, so far this finals has brought so many picks. Like, there's so much new stuff happening. Not only in this, but also in IP's previous series to get here. They pulled out a lot of new heroes. They're showing a lot of versatility, but Alliance too, showing some new picks here. They're bringing out the Weaver for Mickey. I think they haven't played 4 out of 5 of these heroes. Have they even played at this tournament? Have they played Wyvern? Have they played Medusa, Weaver, and Tusk? They've played a Tusk, I think, one game. I know they've played the Mars. That's very clear. Smoke level 1. Oh, it's going to be broken by Ace. This is not happening. Unless they snowball.
Oh, the shots.
I think it's still fine.
Actually blocks Ace. Have they got a tree to work with? There's one.
Oh, he
pushed
set
him
them
up
up,
against him. He
though.
actually ran back into it. Knew it was the safer way, the most direct way to get back to the tower. But the damage output is not going to reach. Yes, it is. Insania. That last little tick time for the Arctic Burns able to reach Ace and First Blood spilled by Alliance. Off to a nice start.
They're going to be really happy to get that kill. I don't think realistically they should have got it. I think Ace could just run up out of the ice shards and left. Or if he took the path that he did, he could have angled away from the spear. But
Walked a little bit further down into the lane.
exactly,
and then
a little bit
across.
further to the right first and then down. But that's one of the things about this Mars hero. It forces you to think differently about your movement than you usually do. And if you're not really on your toes, mistakes like these can happen. In Alliance, they get a First Blood. It's a good start for them. Unfortunately, you could say it goes to Insania. He's not really the guy you want all this gold on. Currently, the top net worth in the game is a position 5 Wyvern.
Hey, remember,
not that great,
support's the people too.
Of course, gold on any hero is great. So, but of course, if you could have got, for example, started with a Wraith Band mid for Koikva and a little bit extra damage, they can quickly transform into extra CS, and then it's a little bit more snowbally than this gold on the Wyvern. But as far as the draft goes, honestly, there's so much going on here. PPD will be playing Undying. I don't think we've seen that. We haven't seen the Mirana either this tournament from them. So, and it might also be 33's first Centaur game. So tons of new picks. I think this is a much harder Mars game than what Boxy had last time when he really took off in a series from yesterday, because both of the support matchups he's facing are terrible. Batrider is insanely good against Mars, and Undying is super annoying to deal with in lane as well. So I think Boxy...
He's already leaving.
Yeah, but they can follow him. They have TPs, I believe. Or Batrider doesn't, but Undying does, so he can swap around. And we'll see what the Batrider wants to do. Currently just pulling away behind the tower to get focused on top.
33's in trouble again. He's trapped inside the shards.
think it'll be
Boxy
okay.
is holding the spear for the moment. He's just waiting for the right tree to lock him down into.
Oh, they leveled up Mars.
And now 33 is in a lot of trouble with a quick hit. They rebuke down 33.
That was the perfect level up timing for Boxy. He should have survived there if Mars didn't reach level 2 and get the point in God's Rebuke. So another kill for Alliance. Now the lanes are going to stabilize a little bit. One thing Undying is extremely good at is playing against tri-lanes. This hero loves these kind of tri-lanes where the enemy heroes need to group up because of exactly this. Another double decay for PPD. He hits like a truck right now, and he will be able to effectively zone these two heroes on his own if he has this many stacks. Taiga might even die if he gets hit one more time here. Close call.
Peter doesn't want to go underneath the tower, but wants to keep the pressure up. Zone him out of the lane. Give the space to his Ven to get an easy game. It's already started off pretty well for the mid Mirana.
Yep.
Like, she's been harassing down the Deucer as much as possible. But here we go again. Shards him up. Ace is forced to walk up. Boxy is waiting for the right time. First with a rebuke. Doesn't have enough mana for the spear, and that's why he consumes the mango, and that'll give him the mana for it. So Ace will fall, and PPD, he'll still stand strong. But this isn't Undying. Didn't get that name just for, well, shits and giggles.
Yeah, they need Soxa to swap lanes, I think. Just let the Centaur play one-on-one against Weaver. He's going to be totally fine. Or Saksa needs to find something meaningful to do, because he got this one pull off top and it's like, okay, he's TP. Oh, there we go. I think NIP's Trial is just flat out way stronger right now. You can't win this lane realistically as Alliance anymore. You're going to get sticky napalmed up a couple of times. Batrider's going to cause all sorts of chaos. There's decays in the mix. They have heal and shield in their supports too.
One of the most hilarious things, like Alliance, like more difficult to win this lane just because they don't have as many trees to work with. Boxy's moved a little bit further down south, but here comes Asuka in the middle of the Firefly, but with the rebuke, 3 heroes getting hit. Tiger's still going to lose his life. Ace, he's dropping down low. Boxy's able to claim his life, but the Firefly is still going out with 4 stacks of sticky napalm. Boxy, one more attack from Zuxka, is able to get that kill.
This is still a much better start on the game than I thought Mars would have. It's a very snowball-oriented hero, and you can't be unhappy with the amount of gold he's sitting on right now if you're Alliance. We'll see if he chooses to TP or walk to a lane. He will TP top to try to force movement again, so that they can get the Weaver against Batrider if possible. It looks like he will swap bottom. And, well, they've got 20 seconds to enjoy, because after that, Saksa has TP again, and he's probably going to swap top. And Centaur goes bottom.
Yep, here's the switcheroo.
Gotta love ourselves a little bit of musical lanes. It's always entertaining to watch and annoying to play, but that's fine. We're just watching, right? Okay, Peter level 4. Wow, I didn't realize he was getting this big. They got these kills, so obviously with Sven dying before they got the 2 return kills, a lot of experience went the way of Undying as well as Batrider. Sven sitting on level 2 in this top lane against Boxy right now. But you would imagine he will get some help very soon from Bat. Thinking about it at least. Peter dropping the tombstone bottom. He's kind of surrounded here. Has a bit of healing.
A little bit of trouble. Half Stomp is out with double X. 33 already got the kill on Meke. He couldn't actually Shikuchi himself away from this, so they're finally going to take care of the tombstone. But Insania, even more damage than 33 is just pushing into them. Tiger and Insania having a hard time. Boxy being battled up. That's that Batrider movement towards the top lane you're talking about. Zuxa, he's got 4 stacks of sticky napalm on Boxy. Difficult to turn around and get out of it. PPD denies himself up to the neutrals, but Ace staying with him. But Boxy, 5 stacks of sticky napalm. Let's make it 6. Zuxa, he still wants more distance, but the snowball, it's going down after the Sven. If they can catch both of them here, it'll be huge with the shards. Ace is locked in, but Fada leaps forward with the Starfall when the quick kill over on Tiger, but Tiger's already done the job. He'll lose his life in the trees. Boxy will also have the South cancelled. And this is a faster pace for you, Sind. I was worried this would be a snooze fest when Dusa gets picked up, but it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, everybody else is really active. Well, Dusa is chilling, for sure.
Yeah,
he's gonna keep chilling.
Kyle said, like, if Dusa can just sit and stack and farm inside the jungle, then Alliance will be in a great position.
Yep, that's the life of Dusa. Just hit some creeps, and it's doing great right now. Hit all of those creeps. Very good.
Huge.
Gonna keep hitting them.
Split shot's really difficult. It's a skill shot, not a split shot.
Well, he pulled them together for a nice Mystic Snake too. Don't undersell it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Koi for you're amazing.
Yeah, very good.
I was more sad just to watch him play a hero which is not a Queen of Pain. It's not a Storm Spirit. It's not a hero where he really shines hard. It's a Dusa. You just got to play it right.
It's a fair point that this is different from what Alliance have generally played in this tournament with success. They put him on Alchemist in one game and they lost. Most of Koikva's greedy heroes they haven't really run, so we'll see how it works this time around. It's a really valid point that the playmaking dynamic in Alliance's lineup is very different from their go-tos.
It's shifted a lot more to the supports.
Yeah.
Like supports and Boxy. We've seen Boxy do it previously, but a little bit more pressure on supports, not just being the sustained ones. It's like, we're with you, Koikva.
Oh, Boxy. He can't lane right now. He's rich, but he still can't lane. He's trying to get a little bit of a pull-off here to reset the lane position, but Peter is on top of that and preventing him from getting it back.
He's really blind doing it as well. Like, even if he goes on PPD, like, he's just going to decay and turn around. But the fact they put the Observe Ward down and got instantly dewarded.
Oh, I don't know if this kill's not happening.
Doesn't
no way.
Lock him. He's, yeah, hey, at least the armor's ticking down, so Mickey's got that advantage.
Yeah, he's not taking damage from the bugs. He has 2 stout shields. Realistically, the Swarm will need to sit on him quite a while before it even starts dealing anything.
You need the damage from Mickey as well. Like, how do you actually itemize for Mickey? Like, does he look for these early fighting items? I'm seeing a Lincoln Sphere after 3 Wraith Bands on him, so we're going black style, no boots, Mirana.
It protects him against the lasso to an extent, but I don't know if I'm a fan of the defensive build when you're playing with Medusa. I think you need to play a little bit more of an active build. Either Maelstrom, Diffusal, or Desolator are 3 choices that I would like to see him choose one of and just get something done when his team is online. Because if both he and Medusa are just farming, I think it's too much of an ask of the Mars to to create that much space.
Like, I can understand it if
Up there
Batrider
going
was
top.
a core. Yeah, they're snowballing in. Shards, and already Batrider into Firefly. He doesn't care about Shards. He doesn't care about any kind of arena or anything like that. Box doesn't even have 6 yet. He'll fall down.
What
The damage arrives. Sucks, hits hard, and Fada jumps in. The double starfall. Mickey, he arrived for this fight as well. Insane gets a good shatter. But it's still a double kill for Suxa. Is that now his 4th? Yes, his 4th of the game.
That was so crazy. I can't believe Alliance went for that. They had a 3 or 4 stacked Mars when they started the fight. If Mars is 3 stacked, he's actually just dead. Like, he can't even fight there.
Is under attack.
But they really wanted to go for it with the Tusk. Maybe feeling a little bit uneasy that they have to get stuff done, but that was just way too forced.
And then they scan the tree line on the side, feeling like NIP is still hanging around. They blew off a lot of what they had. And we're now efficiency shrine for Fada. Another great rotation from him. It's kind of funny, like Fada's playing that role which was in Quote for play, like that movement around, but it's a very active Mirana, which now buys space for the Batrider. Like I was thinking the Lincoln Sphere on a Weaver, it doesn't make as much sense unless Batrider is a core, but if you get this much of a start, Mirana just turns into a roamer, Batrider will catch up very quickly. The 33. Well, we'll see just how much that Vanguard will help him tank up. PPD is there to help out too. They get him back, still haven't killed off the Swarm. They really need to, but now the Warcry. Ace with the right.
Nice
Great snowball dodge from Tiger.
Very good.
It's a projectile flyer, just hits fast and walks away.
He held it the whole time. He was going to maybe use it to try to kill the Centaur, but actually got caught by his hoof stomp. 33 faked it out twice in a row, and Taiga eventually did get caught by it. But at least he had it to save himself, so that's good. All of this is happening. Medusa is having a blast. Koikwa is easily out farming everyone else, as it usually goes.
4.2k practically.
Yep. Level 10. Next highest level in the game is level 8 on Mirana. This is completely usual. If Medusa has a free time and the enemy hero needs to move around and do things, she will just farm the creep wave, go back and farm this double camp, or these 2 camps with Split Shot and Snake every single minute. And put a little bit of pressure on the tower whenever possible too. This tower needs to be defended. NIP are actually taking very much unnecessary mid-tower damage right now.
Well, it's because they moved to the bottom lane. Mirana was looking for a gank,
Yeah,
but it got
speaking of
spot out
bottom
by the
lane.
ward. Yep, the jump comes in, and they've got the control. So it's actually pushed out of the arena, trying to Firefly back underneath the tier 1 tower.
Saxa was a bit slow there, I think. Or he had cooldown. One of the reasons Batrider is so good against Mars is if you get Firefly off when he throws the arena and he throws the spear, you just fly out of the arena. Because the arena has a set height in the coordinates. Something we talked about that we were going to mention in this game is how the spear pinning to the arena depends if the hero is flying, including toss. You can actually spear people out of the arena if you spear them while they're tossed. So for a hero like Batrider, you can make it. Nah, he's going to be so completely fine top. If you're Firefly, you can get out of the arena, but trees have indefinite height for the spear. So if the Batrider is out of the arena, it can still get pinned to a tree.
So the logic of it, put an arena around trees.
Yeah, but then you don't get the arena damage, right? Because then they're not pinned to the arena, so they don't take that knockback damage. But you can at least stun the Batrider even when it's flying. But that is absolutely one of the big reasons why Batrider is, in addition to all the other problems it causes for Mars, that is just the icing on the cake, basically.
Actually going to have a crack over at 33. This one, Arctic Burn from Insania is actually a little bit more effective.
Arctic Burn is super good against Centaur. It's really good against tanky heroes in general. A lot of health, so the percentage base damage hurts, and he's not buying any magic resistance. So good chunks taken out every time by that, but beyond that, they just don't have the damage yet. Weaver tickles this hero, basically, when it has a Vanguard for a while.
And Alliance.
And you feel the tempo being different, right? Like from
Yeah,
Alliance.
yeah,
You can just feel in the game that Koikwa is playing Medusa.
That's just because we started off fast, but it was only because NIP was rotating and Alliance without a counter. Like, like that's it. Like they're playing a reactionary at the moment until the Medusa gets bigger. But she's already so damn big, and I'm wondering that, like, these aggressions from NIP, which are happening in the side lanes, if they have to start being more directed into the dire jungle, actually look for the Medusa, and actually that's exactly where they're smoking up. They're coming over with the Batrider. They don't see the Firefly. Lasso, pull it back in. There's no sticky napalm charges up, but the arrow will connect. That's a 4-second stun out. And the arena, Boxy wants to help him, actually skewering the back point, but he's still going to go down, but the rest of Alliance have rotated in. They need to get rid of this damn Tooth and a PPD. The Sora keeps it alive just a little bit longer. Now, who's the primary target? We bounce everywhere, and it looks like PPD will be here. Shard blocked in. Everyone split up a little bit more. Stop getting hit by Master Case. And a rebuke from Boxy will get that kill.
Alliance or NIP are going to be super happy with that. They traded Medusa for Undying and a top tier 1 tower. for 33. He did not need to get involved, and Ace was also free farming at the same time. This is about as efficient as you can be on the map during that play. That could not have gone any better for them. And Kiev were just a little bit too slow on getting off the Stone Gaze. I think it was technically possible when they started showing their heroes, but he let the Batrider get the lasso off, and unfortunately the curse from Insania came in a little bit too late and arguably even saved the Mirana's life, I think. So not really what Alliance were looking for in that instance, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. They lost
it's
a
not
little
the
bit.
worst. Kiev is straight back to farming a double stack of Ancients and trying to get it done before the 13-minute mark, and he just efficiency farming once again from Medusa.
Dire's middle
And Weaver
tower
at the same
is
time
under
can take plenty of space in this top lane. So even though the tower has fallen, he's relatively safe. Until the Blink Dagger comes out on Centaur, that's when it can get a little bit trickier. But for now, there are no daggers on the Radiant side, so really the only thing killing the Weaver would be an arrow out of the tree line or something like that. So Mickey feels very safe. He might even go further in this top lane, which you usually don't see carries do at this point. But
You still would kind of wish him to have something more than just like a ring.
yeah, I don't like his item build. And on top of this, let's remember we've been talking about the dynamic of farm on Alliance's team quite a lot this tournament. Mickey is poor. That's rare.
They're going mid. Boxy. Arena is up. They're going to actually catch the Centaur in the middle of this. There's no Stampede available. Yarrow flies forward. At least gets the stun over on Tiger, but it won't matter when PPD can't outrun this. The two probably tankiest heroes of NIP fall. Tombstone was quickly mopped up because Meke joined this fight. Now it turns into Alliance pushing down mid for the Tier 1 tower. No buybacks for NIP. They'll claim the Tier 1 in return.
That was a really ambitious push from NIP to do with only 2 heroes? Was 3? 3? I guess they were 3. No Batrider there, no way for Sven to connect, and Alliance just pile on them with a couple of heroes TPing in and easily defend, get 2 kills and a tower. So very, very good sequence from them for sure.
NIP are going to go for something again by the looks of it. They're all grouping up for a smoke.
Yeah, this time they're going to get the tower. They're going to bring more numbers this time around. And there's no arena for another 40 seconds. Boxy's bottom, he TP'd as well. So I think Alliance would be wise to just let this tower fall, honestly.
Radiant
Unless this could get even worse.
They're
If they
wrapping
find
up around the
Koikva,
back.
good TP. Good TP from him. He gets out.
Radiant and Dire Scan don't ping anything. Tiger won't be lucky. The lasso is there, pulling him back in. Again, these arrow combinations, very easy to connect to. When they slide one way, Insania is also on the run. PPD wants to have something involved in this with the Moonlight Shadow.
Dire's middle tower
And IP, they will not keep the chase going. They already got the Tier 1 tower in the hands of Fada.
Yep, they want bounty runes. That's why they're backing off. They're going to get 3 by the looks of it. I think Mars, yeah, he was actually nice play from Boxy there. He threw a spear on top of the rune just in case Mirana was Moonlight Shadowed on top of it, but nobody was there. So it's a 3 for 1. Bit of a D-ward coming out from Soxa too. And
Puts Meke in a bit of a world of fear.
Ace has caught up really nicely too. We haven't talked too much about the Sven in this game. We're talking about Medusa getting big farm and Weaver taking less space. Ace's early game was really weak. He died multiple times in lane, had a hard time, and now he's suddenly top net worth in his team from all the space his team has created and within reach of the Medusa. Sure, you're 1,500 gold behind, but given the start you had, that's probably better than expected with 4 deaths to only the 1 of Koikva.
Well, it's just nice to have like every single hero from NIP, as far as their cores, are actually having a use. Like Fada's getting involved. Even the Batrider is probably having more of an influence right now than the Centaur. He's just a Stampede. But a Blink Dagger for Boxy will now arrive, so he's got a jump-in mechanism.
Yeah. He's still... When you go this build on Mars, where you bypass Vlad's and you don't get even a Blightstone on the way to or a Deso, he's going BKB by the looks of it. His damage is a lot lower. If you remember the game we saw yesterday, I think it was, where he totally took over the game, he can't do it with these items. It's just not possible. And it's how it goes. If you get countered a little bit, his game is better than I thought it would be. But if he also goes for a high-hitting damage build, maybe it's a bit too greedy with both the Weaver and the Medusa in his team. So he's going to go more of a utility route.
Looking for the jump. Blink forward. No arena. In fact, it's a lasso coming back. Tiger needs to help him out. Snowball safe. Should be able to do the job. He needs a target to go on Boxy. He's just trapped under the Firefly. Tiger tried, but he spent most of that time just chasing him down and could not help. Insania will fall as well. And Alliance fall apart as Fada gets himself a triple kill. And now it's NIP's turn. Take a fight, take a tower.
Looks like Boxy kind of played himself. He blinked in and kind of wanted to arena. He saw the Firefly come out from Soxa and then he panicked. If you want to go for that play, you pin the Batrider to a tree. It's the only way you start on this hero. You don't try for the arena ever. You just blink, insta-pin him, and go from there. But Boxy just messed that up a little bit, and that's costly. That's maybe even 2 towers, or at least good pressure on the second one here.
With the double damage rune inside the Mirana, yeah, it should actually be the second.
Forcing
There's
rotation.
TP support coming in. Insane will have to fly to the air, let that Winter's Curse do its work, Boxy. This time around, he gets the arena trap down. It's over on the Centaur. The snowball forward, they're keeping him on the wall, pushing around. 33's Crimson Guy did come off. He's going to survive until the Curse. Insania will drop it. But the stun, it's over on Fada, so he never did any damage. He leaps up as she clips himself at the moment. And just battling from that high ground. Fada will want to jump back down again sometime soon. The spear pins him to the tree while he's up on top of the cliff, but here's your stun. Ace hits the double target. That's what they needed. Kuiper will fall. Couldn't move anywhere, just stickied up by the napalm. And they know someone's nearby. The tree's broken. Ace is going to find Insania. And Insania's got nowhere to move apart from death. Ace gets a triple kill. NIP, they will now take the tier 2 tower and another fight, back to back.
Maker ran out of mana. He couldn't fight. He got hit a couple of times by Fata's Diffusal Blade, and he didn't have any mana left, and just ran away. Let his team know, all right, I'm out, guys, good luck. And then he writes, my bad. Yeah, there was just not enough left in the tank. And again, I'm going to come back to this once again. I just don't like his itemization. I think it's too defensive. I would have loved to see Alliance be able to take a little more initiative, because this Mars of Boxy, he has limited options of who to play with. It's like they go in with this Mars and Tusk and they pack quite the punch, but there's just that little bit extra missing.
There has to be
it's
like
just not there.
Like you have an AoE control ability, there has to be a follow-up with damage to get the kill.
If Weaver has a Deso or a Diffusal or Maelstrom, any of these 3 items instead of what he has right now, I think they're getting kills on these jumps. The Centaur stayed alive forever.
Now they're going to go up on top. So this is an easier one. Centaur stampeding away. TP Sports coming in the form of Zuxa. He starts sticking Napalm up, and he looks towards Tiger. Knows he's already used his defensive abilities. He just has to keep the Napalm stacks going. Mickey looks to turn around as much damage as he can, but the double stun, 33 is going to be, but the Winter's Curse creates space, but it doesn't stop Fada. He's so far forward. He'll hit the arrow as well. Man, NIP hitting all their shots, all their targets, and Alliance are starting to really fall apart.
Yeah, they're getting outplayed, and it's not just that they get outnumbered, it's the value of the numbers, right? So if NIP are there with the correct amount of heroes and they get a jump like that, the fight plays itself, almost. The curse from Insania was actually really good. If it wasn't for that, it would have looked like even more of a stomp. Unfortunately, they still all died. But yeah, it was still a good curse out from him, but this tower is dead.
Just shows you how tanky all of NIP can be as well. Even when you get the curse out, it's like, oh, do we have enough to even kill our own heroes?
They have Crimson Guard, so if that's activated, their heroes are really, really tanky. And obviously also the Sven Warcry works against the curse too. They're just, all of them are harder for them to kill themselves.
And Koifer's still farming.
Yeah.
That's the name of this game for Alliance at the moment,
Look
building
at that
into a
win graph,
Skadi.
though.
What are we looking at percentage-wise win graph?
It's actually, if you look at all the 3 graphs, it's actually beautiful the way they're all linear right until now when they have a little bump, but they were pretty. Roche?
Yep. I'll do this nice and quick. Having that double damage rune on Ace, plus 372 casually on his 164. Easy.
Yeah, Alliance seem either unaware of this or unwilling to fight. This is big. I wonder if they give this Aegis to the Mirana.
They're TPing in, but they're underneath their observer ward when they do it. Roshan's pretty low. A blink into some kind of arena or something would work. Smoke comes very, very late. The bugs flying forward, and now Alliance just want to retreat.
Oh, Soxa could get him here.
Oh, McKay. He's just looking to chase him down. Where's the reveal? He jumps to the side. Sentry ward, that's a time lapse back over. Stampede being committed, and he's just juked it entirely.
Oh, he almost hit the arrow. Fata was so close, hitting a blind arrow. I wonder why Soxa didn't go for the lasso there. I think they could have definitely connected that with an arrow from Fata. Maybe it was on cooldown. I don't know if he used it before for scouting. But yeah, wait, Fata has a full MKB too? Oh my god, he has so much damage. That's pretty crazy. 21-minute diffusal MKB. That's a hard-hitting Mirana.
Soxa, blink. Looking for a target, and he found Tiger. The lasso, that wasn't even the intended target. The intended target was Mars. The snowball is going towards Fada because he knows he can't go into the Firefly. Actually, he dies to the Firefly anyway that was in the lane. Fada just sits there.
He killed the siege creep.
Huge send.
Oh, it's huge. Hey man, everything matters in Dota, okay? Things add up over time. You're saying huge now sarcastically, but just wait until in 3 minutes when he gets a blink dagger just because you got that siege creep kill. Then you'll know. That's when you know it mattered. All the little things. Alliance need a lot of little things right now.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And this is a great example. So I was talking earlier, I think when I was on the panel for the previous series, about the Sven versus Medusa matchup, where it just feels like in the games we see lately, Medusa is farming, and Sven just contributes so much more in these early stages because he wants to get involved and can contribute to the fights while Medusa is farming. So essentially, you're largely playing a 4-on-5 game. And this was a Sven that got destroyed in lane, and he's still been so much more impactful and has the same net worth as Medusa
The
by
jump
now.
forward, he found both of them. He'll even dodge the spear. Insania has to go into a defensive cold embrace, but they're just racking up the magical, ready to rock. Insania, oh, he even burns Curse. Nothing will come from this at all. Vada arrives, and you see that damage amplification. He finished the full MKB. And they're making lines towards the mid. They want the tier 2 towers gone. It's the last remaining outer tower of Alliance. I'm even going to smoke up. There's a deeper observer ward that's watching a movement back, showing the Deucer is re-entering the base. Oh, actually, seeing them all walk out. They're underneath the ward. Koifa,
Oh,
he
no.
literally walked under the observer ward. The skewer pushing out.
He's cliffed.
At least one, but yeah, Koifa stuck up on the cliff. Nothing he can do up there for
nice
protection.
save.
Oh, actually, yeah, they bring him down.
Save.
Save, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's really that much of a save. Alliance have already lost 2. Koifa tries to stand his ground. Quick Manta, but there's 3 heroes right on top of him.
Just run.
A double kill for Fada. There is nowhere to run. 70 seconds on the sideline. Koifa is down.
And
they
Mika's cutting the wave. He's got to try to stop NIP's advances here, but NIP could just go bottom and try to go high ground, actually. Medusa's dead for a full minute, and they have pretty good resources on their heroes to continue and an Aegis, so I don't think they're too afraid of making an aggressive move, and they know that the Alliance lineup can't bring much to the table right now. Mars Arena cooldown, Medusa Stone Gaze on cooldown even if she buys back, and if they force the buyback, that's a big win in itself. So gonna try to see if they can poke a little bit here. 13 stacks of Retaliate available for 33. It's going to activate them. Crimson Guard.
Yeah,
This tower's dead, actually.
What's that tier 3 tower melt? You can shards in, but Fada and 33 don't even flinch. They want to stay exactly where they are. Finish the tower, finish the racks, and try and finish up game 2 and tie up the series. The arrow is scouting. He's in the corner where Mars is trying to inch his way down through the tree line.
He might go for a Blink Spear here.
Weaver is only now beginning his TP back. You have to wait for the right timing. There's the blink spear. And done exactly that. Right back to the racks. Fada will have the Aegis Immortal trigger.
Not the biggest deal for NIP. It was 1 minute left on it. I think if they don't use it here, they might not get to use it at all. So that's essentially a null kill.
They forced the retreats though, so it's all the runs for the 25-minute runes. Still be 3-1.
3 for 1, and NIP.
Fada, don't go.
That was really.
He just walked up to him. He's gonna be locked in the tree, locked on the wall, pushed back out, and a quick leap out. That's possible.
Interesting.
Can you use those small narrow points to get out?
Yeah,
Is there a higher area on the pillars?
It depends a bit on the angle, I think. You can't reliably leap out, I believe. It's a little bit situational, but if Fatsa is very well versed in jumping out of arena, that might be part of the reason they picked the Mirana.
There's like that perfect point, like you start doing that math, that like just the proper chart at the highest point of leap. You can then escape.
It's possible. It might even have something to do with where you are in your leap animation, whether you get out or not. I'm actually not sure because nobody plays Mirana, so you never see it. Oh,
top lane push coming in.
They might
Mirana
still want to
has
fight.
buyback available.
Buyback, yep.
33 is looking for the Hoof Stomp. Thanks to their Observe Ward. It's good information from NIP. No D Ward down from Alliance.
There's no arena. I actually think NIP could almost win this fight 4-on-5 if they get a good jump here.
Looking
They're thinking about it.
Crimson Guard slowing down the attack on the tower. Be denied up by 33. Everyone just stand together to kill our own building.
And now finally, wait, is the courier dead for Alliance? I think it's dead.
It's, yeah, it's dead for 51 seconds.
Okay, I was about to say finally the Maelstrom's coming out, but it's not because the courier's dead. So another little bit of time before Mickey will get his first damage item of the game.
Well, you can just give, you can flag the NIP new item. So Vladimir's is now arrived.
Oh, this is a good item too. Crimson Guard on, or sorry, the Solar Crest on Centaur.
Oh boy.
He's going to make Sven quite the hero to deal with. So when it comes to damage at this point, Alliance's lineup is super physical, right? Mars, Weaver, and Medusa are largely physical damage heroes. So if you Solar Crest this Sven, the defensive and offensive capabilities of this item is extremely good right now. I love that pickup from 33. I actually think it's the best item he can buy in this game. I like this guy's itemization in general. I feel like he's one of the more experimental players when it comes to item builds. He likes to buy different items. He did the Solar Crest Lone Druid build as the first player I saw. We've seen him do, that's just the one that just comes to mind right away.
Oh my god,
jump.
look at him. He actually
Quick
dodges
Shikuchi.
the weave. They Shikuchi up, but the cleave damage. Mickey drops by 1/3. And the Moonlight Shadow Alliance look for a different target. They're actually pinging to go over towards the shrine.
He should really have a Dust on Centaur, though. Speaking of the creativity in his item build, it would be great to have detection against Weaver. Well, there you go.
Details. Blink, Skewer onto the tree. 33's there, but Boxy has a fresh BKB. So PPD and 33 locked inside the Arena of Blood. And a great arrow. 5 seconds done over on Weaver. Need to kill him up before he's able to time lapse. But the curse, that'll create the space. A time lapse. Mickey finally is able to do it. Another spear back for PPD. They're battling under this high ground tombstone. The perfect position for NIP. Not even one player dead. Koifa has to stone the Crows, but they're pulling him back. The Lincolns comes way too late. But Koifa can be protected from, well, time. So he doesn't get ravaged, but he got arrowed again. He's having his own battle to the north, but Fada realizes this is just everywhere on the map where his arrows need to be. 70 seconds without Koit for now. Now you can push down mid.
Fada's pissed after last game.
Revenge.
Yeah.
I swear revenge.
It was his brother playing Lesh. He's back now on his PC. That's when he disconnected last game. That's when he came back. This game does not look good for Alliance now. That was a valiant effort, honestly, in that fight. I think Insania, again, with some clutch plays, good Cold Embrace, good Curse to keep Weaver alive. But even though Mika survives, he's down to quarter health and can't really fight afterwards.
Interesting skewer, but then Ace just hits the double Stormhammer. Boxy, what do you do now? You've already lost one. Tiger's taken a fall. The Tombstone's already back up again as well. So Mickey, he wants to come forward to get rid of it, but PPD's just going to steal your life. You're dusted up as well. They brought detections in.
Yep. And they're going to bring home a lot of gold. And maybe a game 2. I'm not sure if Alliance can... They definitely can't defend this lane of Barracks.
And rotate bot.
NIP might just rotate bot and go for double melee. They have 20 seconds on Tusk, 10 on Medusa. There is an arena available.
It's a 10k crit that just takes away the entire creep
Mika
wave.
just seems so insignificant in this game compared to what we usually see.
Look, he's trying to hit at least the arena, catches Ace. He's got BKB available, turns through a Stormbolt and just uses the BKB immunity to run out of the arena. Mickey, he's on the chase, but
this is
he
dangerous.
doesn't see anything. He doesn't see anything. Their Moonlight Shadow, Fada will leap away. Even Stampede being burnt, create as much space as you can for NIP, and they're out.
Yep. So what did they get? They got 1.5 lanes, and the Rex they didn't get was ranged in mid. Uncle Gaben is a fan of NIP in this game, 98%.
All right, now we'll see what Mickey can do.
Yep.
PPD with a double damage rune underneath his own shrine. Mickey can time lapse and get away from the fight, but now, the jump in Ace, he's still got so much damage, even without God Strength. Boxy just evaporates. At least he gets something.
No
PPD
mana,
falls.
Mickey.
Stone Gaze is up. 33 is just going to back it off. They're protected by so much, they're waiting for the right time to blink, but unable to do so. Not on the Centaur, at least. A quick curse, trying to create a little bit of extra space. Snowball out. Tiger already stunned. Fada knew exactly where he was going. The arrow just had to follow him. So they'll find that kill. 3 down for Alliance. And now you can just push mid.
Yep, they're going to have God Strength again. I think it's Megas.
I think it's game.
It's a short time, 20 seconds. I think they got it. I think they got it. The wave is reaching now, so Backdoor is going to deactivate. He's going to God Strength in 5 seconds. Ideally, you don't hit this range Barracks. I think you just go top. The wave is going to take care of business, but Ace wants to take it into his own hands. All right, there we go. Now switching over. God Strength will be popped. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits.
Couple.
Oh, Lazo.
Lasso was able to catch him as well, the Snowball. They actually couldn't get the save. He didn't pick up Koifa.
You can't.
So Tiger just dies for the cause. They'll move over towards Mickey. You can time lapse out, but he's still stuck inside the arena. Boxy's BKB doesn't protect him from all the physical damage being pumped out. But at least Koifa can stand his ground, but he's underneath the tombstone. He's got no movement speed. Finally, they've killed off Mars, so gods can die, or at least the sons of gods. Ultra kill for Fada, and we have leveled up the series 1-1 with NIP claiming it 36-14 here in game 2.
That was pretty much just 2 stomps back to back. The losing team didn't have much of a chance after 20 minutes in either of these games, and this time it's NIP coming out on top. I feel like, was Taiga trying to save from the lasso with Snowbomb?
I think so.
That hasn't worked
he
for
jumped in to kill Dusa,
okay,
to
so
save Dusa.
I don't want to say this with 100% certainty, okay, but with
Okay.
95 or higher, I'm pretty sure you can't snowball out of Lasso or Chrono since last year. I can't give you the exact timing. Maybe it was just wishful thinking. If they pick the Tusk because of it countering Lasso and it doesn't work, that's a bit sad. But I don't think that's why.
That would be a hole in your draft.
I could swear you can't do it. I'm wondering if there's anything else you can't snowball out of than just Chrono and Lasso. Those two come to mind for a reason for me. But anyway, NIP absolutely ran them over. Really good redemption game from Fata. 17-1 and 13. He went Diffusal. He ruined both the Medusa and the Weaver's game by burning their mana in fights. Just all out an excellent performance from him in this game. I think he really showed up.
I think Carl said it perfectly, right? Like, you're seeing Peter drafting to the comfort zones of the players. He actually stated that, like, during his TI win. It's like, yeah, well, Skyrife may not fit perfectly into this, but they just felt comfortable on it. They just felt good on it. And NIP, they looked really good on every single one of the heroes they had in this game. Execution and just moving forward. 1-1 is the series. Can't wait to see more Dota. This time, let's get a little bit closer, please.
Observing is something where I feel like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.